Let's Connect would not be possible without the support of our sponsors like Massage Envy with 2 locations, West Covina and Diamond Bar. Of course, our friends from Prospectors Federal Credit Union with also 2 locations, West Covina and Diamond Bar. From our friends from Med Spa Deluxe LA with also 2 locations, West Covina and Rancho Cucamonga. And let's not forget our friends from Suburban Water Systems, here in the city of Covina.
We would also like to make mention Plaza West Covina and also Munoz and Munoz Attorneys at Law. So if you need a lawyer, criminal law, personal injury, accident, motorcycle accident, make sure you call Munoz and Munoz Attorneys at Law.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Let's Connect Now. Today I'm doing the opening for the show because my partner over here is fading out. And it's only like 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, I am fading out. I'm fading out.
I don't know what's happening.
Guys, I'm going down. Mayday. Mayday. I'm going down, guys.
I think there's just been so much that, that this week already, it's we're taping on a Wednesday.
Yeah, we usually tape on a Monday and we get it over with so that we can edit and stuff. But it's been a long morning because we're actually doing a new show. Not a new show, something new.
We highlighted one of our members.
Yeah, well, we're going to be doing it every month. We're going to be like a how-to and tutorials. Yeah, how-to. And you might see this lovely arrangement in the center. Oh, wow, we're here.
There it is.
You might see this lovely arrangement.
Yeah, let's print it
done by not Monica.
Yes.
This is not yours.
Yes.
This is not yours.
No, this is not mine.
No,
but I made something very similar.
Yes.
To it.
Monica's was very outgoing.
Busy and high.
Yeah. This was very compact, very nice. But it was from Bonita Le Fleur.
Say it right.
Bonita Le Fleur.
Bonita La Fleur.
And Carolina, she came in, and we're gonna be doing an episode every month and they're gonna this month they take in like it was fall, right? Fall type colors.
Yeah,
Thanksgiving, so that because this is something that you could do as an arrangement, take it to your family members. Don't go there empty-handed. So this is very amazing and stuff. So, and Monica will be a part of it because she'll be teaching Monica on how to do certain things.
Because I'm crafty and I love doing things like this for my home. I seriously consider myself a decorator because I love seasons and right now they call me the queen of wreaths because I've been it's almost every holiday I have wreaths for every door in my house.
During the holidays, November and December, I start calling her Monica Stewart. Martha Stewart has nothing on you, Monica. You are amazing.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
man.
You
go to her house and there's a wreath on every door.
That's what I just said. And all my cabinets, too.
And cabinets, door. She tried to put one on my door. I'm like, get away.
Your wife will appreciate it. Not you, but she will. Yeah. So today I had the pleasure of learning how to put together a centerpiece for your dinner table or, for your countertop, or just simply, as a gift for you to bring on, to your Thanksgiving, wherever you're going to have Thanksgiving.
Family member, loved one, friends,
or
Friendsgiving.
simply just gift it to someone.
Yeah, no, they're amazing and stuff.
Give it as a gift. They're fun to make. I had a blast. And I'm very proud of our member, Bonita La Fleur, Carolina, for taking the time and, going very early to buy the flowers at the Flower Mart in downtown LA, right?
Yeah.
And so she showed us how to put together something like this. So make sure you guys follow us on Instagram so that you guys can see the tutorial and make sure you guys post pictures after you make one and share with us.
Yeah, we'd love to see them. It's gonna be something very interesting. So we started that new. So make sure you guys, it'll be once a month, and if it does take off, we might do it twice a month or so on, just to create new things.
Well,
it
depends on if the month has a holiday.
It just depends if you guys are good.
Oh, God. I'm only going to get better, I think. I'm only going to get better.
We're still waiting for Let's Connect Now.
Yes, I'm only going to get better. Oh, wow.
Just wait. Hey, you threw jabs at me last time.
Okay.
I'm just returning the favor, sister in the Lord.
Fine. But today's going to be a very exciting show.
Change the subject. Let's just like that.
Before we introduce our guest that I'm super excited to have, on today, I want to talk about a particular event that we are going to be hosting as Greater West Covina.
Yes.
As we're ending the year. It's the holidays are here, and so we want to be able to be kind of first on the calendar to host a little event. But why don't you talk about the event?
Yeah, we're having. Yeah, wait, because you don't want to say it, huh? Oh, okay. No. So what we're doing is we are having the GWC Business Mixer Comedy Night. Okay, so it's happening December 5th. We have a night mixer. It's going to be taking place at the old Craft Hill, but now it's Temple Bar Urban Eats.
Yes.
So Temple Bar, it's off Grand and just off Grand and the 10th Freeway. You can't miss it. Temple Bar. It's a really nice location. They have a lot of events there.
Very trendy place.
Very trendy place. And so we're having a comedy show. And we're really excited because we have two comedians. We have Martin, and he's bringing a very special guest as well. So you want to be there. And then afterwards, they're having reggae. So there's going to be reggae. But there's also a very special thing going on that night. I knew it. That's why you want me to say it. You wanted me to say it for this reason.
No, I don't.
Okay, so we are celebrating somebody that day because on December 5th, it's somebody's birthday, and their actual birthday. It's Monica's.
Walt Disney.
Well, no, it's Monica Stewart's birthday. So, it's her birthday that day. So we're not only having a GWC mixer, but we're going to be celebrating her birthday as well. So it's at 6 p.m. from 6 to 8. Come out. Donations are about $20 a donation. We're going to have the Eventbrite. Go to greaterwestcovina.com. Purchase the tickets. We'll see you guys there.
Yeah,
come out, support. If you're a member or a non-member, come out, support. This is your time to get involved. I mean, we're kicking it off. This is the last event of the year, and we're kicking it off going into the next year.
Yes, we're super excited.
I know you are because you're going to get all the gifts and stuff.
Oh my God! Look at it. You make me out to be someone that just cares about that. I don't care about.
Guys, she likes Macy. She likes Nordstrom's Rack, Sephora.
Are you guys taking notes?
See, look at it. See, oh my God, why are you doing this to me? Yes.
It's so funny because before it was Temple Bar, it was Craft Hill, and I think I celebrated my birthday there, and you came, and I still remember you gave me an Ulta gift card.
Yeah, I gave you Ulta.
Yeah,
because it was on the way there.
Oh.
Because Ulta's right there, the Eastern Shopping Center.
No, and I had fun. And then the year after that, I celebrated my birthday with another comedy show that we had just right after COVID. We had it here at the
Gaucho Grill.
At Gaucho Grill. It was really fun. We packed out the house.
And that's why we're doing it, because people have been asking us like crazy to do it again, and we are doing it again.
And they're really fun, guys. Just come and support our local business here in West Covina. And by doing that, you're supporting also the greater West Covina, and really just want to have a good time. Come to Stress. Come meet other people. We're going to have, hopefully...
food, comedy, music,
drinks,
raffles. We're having raffles.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that we're having.
If you're a business and you want to bring a raffle prize, please feel free to do so. We welcome it. And come have a great time with us. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun. So we have a special guest. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, who do we have?
We have our, she just got reelected. We have our Assemblywoman, Blanca Rubio, District 48. Super excited to have her. It's always a pleasure. We've had, plenty of events, highlighting her, through legislation. And so we can't wait to sit down with her and have a conversation. It's going to be really exciting, and you guys don't want to miss that.
Hi everyone, I'm Ralph. This is Mike. We're Munoz & Munoz Attorneys at Law, here to help you guys for all your legal needs. Mike, tell them what we do.
So we do personal injury, car accidents, semi-accidents, premise liability, slip and falls, even dog bites. We do it all. Call us if you have any injuries involved in an accident. We're here for you to help. Thank you.
Head, shoulders, knees, and toes.
Affordable self-care from professional massage therapists and estheticians. It's what we do. Massage Envy, where better begins.
Hey everybody in the GWC community, this is Danielle with Prospectors Federal Credit Union. Just wanted to reach out to all of you, say hello, and let you guys know we still do have that amazing CD promotion right now. 8 months 4% APY or annual percentage yield, and it is a liquid CD. That means you can actually keep depositing funds through the entire time of that 8 months, and you also get one withdrawal with no penalty. You want to reach out to me, you can reach me at 909-396-9688. I'm at extension 2240, or go visit us on our website, www.prospectorsfcu.org. Hope to talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Whether you're seeking new clients, partners, or opportunities, Megamix Connect is your gateway to instant connections that could transform your business. Whether you're an attendee eager to discover fresh ideas, a business owner ready to showcase your brand, or a sponsor looking to make an impact, the Megamix Expo is where you need to be. Join us as an attendee, exhibitor, or sponsor and take advantage of this incredible opportunity.
Okay, everybody, welcome back. We have a very special guest, like we said before, and Monica, because, Monica is very excited for this. She's been excited for this for about a month. I mean, we scheduled it twice. We scheduled twice because of just scheduling differences and stuff. But Monica,
and the elections,
and the elections and stuff. So we have to say, congratulations and stuff.
Yes.
So who do we have?
Yeah. So today we have our Assemblywoman Blanca Rubio from District 48.
Yeah. All right. Yes.
48.
Yes.
Newly reelected.
Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Thank you so much. And I guess I just found out, but I kind of knew. But you just reconfirmed that it's your last 4 years.
Yes,
what does that feel like?
Wow.
So, in the legislature, the assembly gets, we have to run every 2 years. So I have 4 more years on the term limits. It's a 12-year term. But I have to run every 4 years. So I have one more election in 2026, and then I'm done. I term on in 2028. But it feels surreal. It feels amazing that I've been doing this now for 8 years, because I feel like I've accomplished a lot. I've done a lot of good work for the community, but I'm like, oh shoot, now I only have 4 more years to do more.
Right.
And so now I'm like, how much more can I do in 4 years? So I feel like, we have 4 more years to do really good work, and not enough time to do it in, because there's so much need and so many
much
things
stuff.
that we
Yeah,
can do.
exactly.
But it's amazing. It's been a really good run. I know you don't know, but this is my 27th year in office.
Wow.
Oh my God, 27.
I was 12 when I started.
Oh my God, you still look great, amazing.
you.
What,
But-
25 now?
Yeah,
oh,
right,
great,
right.
amazing.
23.
23.
But yeah, so it's been 27 years. I started on a water board at the age of 27. I spent 8 years on the water board, and then I became a teacher, and I ran for the school boards, and I spent 13 years on the school board. 2 of those years were concurrent. That's for another show.
Yeah.
And then in 2016, I was elected to the legislature. So this is my 27th year.
Wow,
That's amazing. And what was the whole reason to get started in this?
So it's kind of a long story, but I knew somewhere in my heart. Well, let me start back. In 5th grade, and those of you that don't know, I was not born in the United States.
Okay.
I was born in Ciudad Juárez, Chihuahua, Mexico. My family came to the United States the first time when I was 6. We were deported from, we lived in a little town called Weenie, Texas. I had to Google it. I thought my parents were pronouncing it. And so we were in Weenie, and we were deported. All I remember is men in uniform looking at, we're at a park. Very tight-knit family. We were at a park. My parents, we didn't have any money. So our entertainment was the park. Vamos al parque. We would go to the grocery store on Friday night. Then we would get whatever snacks. And then on Saturday, we'd spend the whole weekend at the park. And so we're at the park. And I don't remember kind of the whole story, but I do remember looking at my dad. Some men in uniform were talking to him. And this man, my amazing father, his whole demeanor changed. His face was sad. So we knew something was going on. We just didn't know what, because we didn't know we were undocumented,
Right.
Yeah,
This
'cause
is
you're a
where you
little
live.
kid,
You were here.
Mom and Dad said, let's go.
Yeah.
We went. And so it was, at the time, it was called INS, not ICE like it is today. So it was immigration, and asked him for his papers, and he didn't have any papers. And so they deported us. We went back to Juárez. If any of you know what Juárez is like, I call it the cartel capital of the world.
Yeah.
Because, a
lot of stories come from there,
all
yeah,
the stories, the women of Juárez, there's all of these tragic stories about Juárez. And so my parents were adamant that, they wanted a better life for us. My dad is now 84, but my dad has been in and out of the country since he was 19. He was part of the Bracero program with my grandfather. So back in those days when, they were the guest worker program, right? And I always joke that when the program ended, we still needed to eat. So my dad continued going back and forth, and my mom too. She went back and forth to find work, and we ended up in Weenie, Texas. We were doing construction, and Weenie is on the border of Texas. It's in the Port Arthur area of Texas, on the border of Louisiana and Texas.
Oh.
So as you can imagine, in those days, anybody with this color hair stands out. 'Cause
Right, right.
It's like the deep South, right?
Yes.
And so anyway, so we were deported back to Juarez, and my parents were like, no, we got to do something. We need a better life, right? And so we came back in 1977. We arrived.
Oh,
when
the year I was
Elvis died.
born. The year I was born, 1977.
When Elvis died. Elvis said we arrived August 16th, 1977. That's the day Elvis died.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so we arrived at Union Station in downtown LA. My mom had a sister that lived in LA, and so we arrived there. We lived in the Pico Union district of downtown LA, which if any of you are familiar with that area, it is not the nicest area.
No.
But we didn't know the difference.
Right.
So we moved to downtown LA. My dad got a job. We were still undocumented, but I didn't know any different because all of the neighbors had the same stories we did.
Yeah.
So we went to school. I went to Union Avenue Elementary School, Virgil Junior High, and Belmont High School, LAUSD. And the story comes later. I'm starting the long way just so that I can give you an idea of what the background is. So we lived in downtown LA. One of my cousins, we all have that cousin, but my cousin was one of the original godmothers, if you will, of 18th Street.
Oh, wow.
So we did not grow up in kind of the best circumstances. However, we were very lucky. My parents have been married now. Let's see, it'll be 57 years, November 23rd.
Wow.
57 years. My mom hates him, and my dad, loves her. That's how they are.
That's how it works.
That's how it is
That's
when
how
they
it
get
works,
older.
yes.
Yeah.
The Latino community, my mom's like, ay, tu papá me cae gordo, and I'm like, all right, mom, but so they've been married the whole time, and we were just having a conversation about, our parents were not timeout parents. You do the math on what that means, or you fill in that blank, right? And so my mom and dad were not. They don't play. My mom especially, she's the badass in the family. Like
That's awesome.
We take after her. I'm deathly afraid of her. I am 55 years old now, and so she gives me that look, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't do it. I didn't do it, mom.
It's like that with all moms.
Right,
Yeah.
the Latino moms, like they don't play. So when we were in downtown LA, my dad and my mom was like, no se junten con esa persona, like you better not. And one time I was around them, I wasn't even hanging out with them, and I got my ass beat.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, I wasn't even with them.
You're
He's
guilty
like-
by association.
And that's what she said. She says, I don't care if you didn't do it. If you're there, dime con quién andas y te diré quién
Oh,
eres."
yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, but I wasn't with them. But you were around them. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? She's like, you move. But
You move.
You move. And so I was like, so we were really, like, they were tough. And they were like, no, they were tough. Of course, when you're a kid, you don't really understand. But they were tough because the situation we were in. But we didn't know any
Yeah.
different, right? As a kid, you don't know the difference,
Yeah.
right? And so we're there. And then the parents are like, nope, voy a salir. Nope, you ain't going. You better come back at this time. And then we all have had it. We all have the same Latino moms, right? Nothing good happens after midnight.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still on that.
That's a saying that that my parents always said that. You're
nothing
kind
good.
of speaking my life, but
Yeah,
okay.
it's because it's all of our lives, right? And so the parents were like, nope. And so we lived in LA, went to Belmont High School. I love growing up where I grew up. We have so many stories, but half of the people that I knew are dead. They're all gang related, all of this. And then, so you look at me and I'm like, yes, so you think I'm like, silver
Yeah.
spoon in my mouth, all of that. No, far from it.
And that's what I love about you is just hearing that because, I just shared our last episode last week that, I come from La Puente. I come from La Puente Hacienda Heights area, but my family were in gangs and stuff. We were raised in gangs. I mean, my mom found out that I was going to get jumped in. She moved us. She moved us quick because she was like, no, you're not going to, we're out. And, and part of it was being in a gang back then in the 90s, 80s was like the Chicano, Latino, the way. Yeah, it's where we lived. You just you went with it. You know, if your brother, your cousin, or whatever, you just kind of flowed right into it too. And just being able to hear you and knowing that you can still relate to it, because some people do forget.
Yep.
They forget where they come from.
And that's a
the
beautiful
problem.
thing about you. I'm going to call you Blanca, if you don't mind. Is that you're very transparent when it comes to your life. I've heard, little bits and pieces on your story on certain podcasts that you've been on, and I'm just like, you know what? That's the way everyone should be. We should be transparent, because when then you become relatable to other people, because like you said, not everybody, was born with a silver spoon in their mouth. We all, but these experiences now are you're able to bring them to the forefront, but it's who you are.
It's
Who
relatable.
we are,
Well,
and you're relatable.
And to the conversation about the gangs, like I look at some of my colleagues in the legislature, and all of them are pedigree from Marin County, all of that stuff, and when there's any kind of legislation, they're like, they want to make the world better, and I can appreciate it, but I'm going to say something, but I believe that the old rich white ladies of Santa Barbara are trying to tell us how to live from the privacy of their own Teslas. What that means, and don't mean it in any kind of disrespect, but what that means to me is that there's a big disconnect between what people think, because they haven't experienced it, and how the rest of California should live. I'm involved in a lot of committees in Sacramento, and I tell them, like, that's not going to work.
Right.
They're like, oh, you don't care about poor people. I'm like, no, I care about poor people more than you think, because I'm telling you that's not going to work. Because our communities are very, very, are more conservative, if you will, than what people give us credit for.
They look at Hollywood.
Yes.
So the people that you're just saying, not even the people in other states
Yes.
or whatever, they look at it like, because of what we get portrayed as in movies, that's the way Latinos are in LA and all that. It's like, no.
They're still thinking that way about us?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Those are still the...
And yes, they think about that. But I think, kind of, I know we're going to get into the politics of last week, of the election, but people are like, oh my God, how did this happen? Well, let me tell you how it happened. People assume that because we're Latino, Black, or poor, that we're automatically progressive, whatever that means, right? It means so many different things to everybody, but they automatically believe that we want to be taken care of. What's happening is our policies and the way we treat people, by trying to give them everything, we're taking their dignity away.
Right.
That's
yes,
true.
especially a Latino man.
A Latino man.
It's very true.
And what happens is, when you take somebody's dignity away, what's left? And so us trying to give, we're going to take care of you. We don't want you to take care of it. Just give me the resources to
Keyword
take care
resources.
of myself.
Yes, the resources.
Give me the education so I can take care of myself. Give me, the rent control bill failed. Let me tell you why it failed. I don't want rent control. I want the ability to buy a house so that I can pass it along to my kids.
That's right. That's right.
And what you're telling me by giving me rent control is that you want me in an apartment for the rest of my life.
You want to keep me at a certain level. And I want to grow.
I want my kids to have what
Yes.
I didn't have, right? And I want their kids to have what they didn't have.
I love
and
it.
so I think I wasn't planning on getting into this, but I think
No, this is wonderful.
this is
I love it.
important.
I love hearing it from you. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
because it's like, especially I can speak for the Latino community because I'm a Latina, right?
Yes.
What are people doing on the corner? They're selling stuff. They're not.
Flowers.
Flowers,
'Cause
oranges,
guess what?
everything they could do.
Because you know what? When they get home, they know they earned
Their
that
money.
dollar. And that's dignity. And when we try to give things away, because we're so progressive, you're taking their dignity away. There's a commercial. It's one of the insurance commercials. I know you've seen it, and I can never remember the company, but I always like the commercial where the old guy is, don't turn into your parents.
Yes,
That
yes. It's is it Geico?
Geico.
Yeah, it's Geico.
Right, don't turn into your parents. There's an episode where he's talking to this lady. He's like, you can spot them a mile away. And there's this guy across the street with a Windex bottle cleaning his trash can. Right? He says you can spot the new homeowners a mile away because guess what? He's so proud of what he has that even the trash cans are getting cleaned.
Yes.
Right? And that's the power of dignity. of satisfaction that you did this for your family, did it on your own. And what's happening, I believe, that's the disclaimer, I believe, that us trying to hand people things is taking their dignity away. It's taking their motivation, and there's a point where people do need our help. Like,
Yeah.
I get that. But they don't need us to support them. They need us to support their kids' education so that their kids can be better, support them in different ways so that they can move. And I think that's the disconnect. And I'll bring it back to your original question. My parents were like, nope, we're going to do this on our own. My parents don't speak English. They, we were deported and undocumented until I was 13. I was just talking to Wendy, my staff member, that this year is 30 years that I've been a citizen.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you. I became a citizen in 1994. And I didn't realize that it was, 30 years already. But I'm like, wow, that's pretty amazing. And I voted every single election since then.
That's pretty awesome.
And my parents, they became citizens, and their broken English is like, mija, véngase, let's go fill out the ballot.
So did you grow up being the interpreter for your parents, not knowing that you were the interpreter for your parents?
I'm the oldest.
Because she does that now still with me and her dad.
I am the oldest, and the responsibility for the oldest is we're the whatever you want. We do the translating, and back in my day, it was 411, and I didn't speak English. So back, kind of the whole story, so I didn't speak English. I had an accent, and I was always so ashamed and embarrassed about my accent. That back in our day, kids, if you're listening, there is no Google to find the phone numbers. We call this thing called 411. And you have to talk to somebody. I was so embarrassed to call 411 because I had an accent. But I had to do it because the parents were like, you do it or we,
Yeah, one of us had to do it.
Somebody has to do it, and it's not going to be us.
Yeah.
Even till this day, my dad, I told you he's 84, he brings his little bag with all his mail, and he's like, read the mail.
Oh my God. Is she not speaking? Doesn't she have my life?
Right?
That's me. That's my parents. And it's like, I do it sometimes. I get so like upset because I don't want to read all their stuff, but at the end of the day, I have to just
They come once a month.
Come on, Monica, just do it.
But for me, I got siblings. I'm like, go to the girls. And the girl, like my sisters, and my brother's in Kansas, and the other one lives in Vegas. But so the girls are the only ones here. I'm like, tell the girls, and they're like,
I told my, ¿por qué no le dijiste a Roberto que te ayude o a tu otra hija?
Pero ellos no saben, tú sí sabes.
Es que tu hija, tú eres la más inteligente. Por favor, ayúdame. And they're saying that I'm the most intelligent, and then because they live in my house, so I'm always like, oh my God, I'm just gonna open your mail before you come, so that way I know exactly what we're gonna talk about. I have notes on there for you.
But the funny thing, sometimes I'm like, Dad, this is in Spanish. Like, why don't you read it? You read Spanish, but that's kind of the tradition, right? The oldest takes the responsibility of the home, of the family. I mean, I love the sisters, but I'm like I'm the one that is responsible for them. When we were in high school, when we were, everywhere, I had to take the responsibility for everybody, which also meant I was a role model, right? And so I had to be careful, and my mom and dad would beat me if I was would stray a little bit, and my poor parents. And even though I was not that, I still am a handful. My poor parents, man. My dad, I remember they were like, I'm like their first experience to a teenager, and I was just not having it. And
is she me or what?
Yeah, I don't see her being a handful. I love the way she talks in her life and everything. It's amazing. I love it.
You know what? I want to go back to something. Don't mean to interrupt you, but you mentioned the people that sell flowers in the corner. So there's something about that actually hurts and melts my heart when I see them, because I have so much respect for them in so many ways, because you know what, it takes someone with a huge need to do something like that. And a lot of people don't understand that. And I've always told JR when we've had conversations, if I were to ever win the lottery, I would buy all their flowers, figure out, because I've seen over on Grand, I've seen a lady with her little kid, and she has them in the corner, and she's selling flowers, and my heart just it just gets broken into pieces when I see that.
It is. But back to what I was telling you, when they go home, they're proud that they're able to
Make money.
Make
money.
as little as they have. They're doing everything they can for their family, and bringing it back to what we were talking about. When you take that away from somebody, then what do they have left? You know. And so yes, I feel the same way. But I'm also like, man, that's a hustler. They're hustling to get, and so when I can, if I have cash, I'll buy, whatever.
Yeah, that's
and,
true. I try to do that a lot.
We can get into the business aspect of it and how, the flowers and the oranges not too much, but now you got all the taco stands, the pop-up.
Yeah,
taco
it
stands.
becomes very controversial.
But I could tell you one good one. When my kids were young, my oldest son Joey, he loved the elote man.
I love the elote.
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
We have his phone number
So they
somewhere.
would come on our street like the
Wendy's,
ice cream
yes,
truck,
we do.
like the ice cream truck, right? And he just, one day in kindergarten, he says that, they asked everybody what do they want to be, and then he was drawing, and I said, Mijo, what is that, son? And he's like, I want to be the elote man, because he liked them so much. And you know what? I let him.
Yes.
Because you know what? You want to be an elote man?
Let's be
You
elote
be
man.
a proud elote, because
Yeah.
he loved them so much, and we still love the corn a lot. And now he's an executive chef, but I every now and then
loves
I
food.
remind him of that, and he's like, I used to say that, Mom, but those elotes were delicious.
Yes,
and so
they
he
still
never
are. They
forgets.
still are.
So it's just the things that our kids see, but we should never look at it as shameful.
No.
And a lot of people don't appreciate that, and I always let my kids just, if you want to be an elote, you be a proud elote man. There's no shame. That's our parents used to say, right? Si quieres ir a barrer una
Barre
tienda,
mejor que
you
todo
be
mundo.
the best, sweeper you could be. Just, you could be anything you want to be, and this is the land of opportunity,
It
right?
is, and one of my very first jobs was working for McDonald's. I
worked at McDonald's too.
I was
did I.
like,
One
sweep
day,
him up. I was
one day only.
No, I worked for 3 years. I remember a Saturday mornings are the busiest and stuff. And I remember looking around, I was 17 years old and I was the oldest person there. The whole staff was, teenagers and all of that. But I remember they're like, you got to sweep them up. I'm like, I was the best sweeper and mopper. You do, then you do the register. I was the best register. Then I did the drive-thru. I was the best drive-thru person. They threw me in the back for grill. I was the best grill person. And then I became assistant manager and all of that. But to the point of the pride that we have in what we do, if you don't put it all, I don't care if you're sweeping and mopping, be the best sweeper and mopper, somebody's going
right.
to notice, right? There's no shame in that.
There's no
To the
shame.
point. And that taught me that I'm not above anything. And which helps me now, especially with teenagers. Don't even get me started on the teenagers, because they don't care. What I do. They don't care. I'm in an assembly room. They're like, yeah, whatever, Mom. I'm hungry. What do you have? But,
What's for dinner, Mom?
right? That humbles you, but to be able to say that if I have to sweep and mop, then I sweep and mop. I earlier this year, my campaign office. I'm newly married. Had been divorced and. I have a new husband. He's amazing.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. So Robert kind of fell into this world, right? And so we're opening the campaign office earlier in March. And it was just, you rent an office and it's dirty and whatever. And I was like, all right, we got to change that light, change the toilet seat. And I'm sweeping and mopping, right? And we had hired somebody to help coordinate and all of that. And she's like, is Blanca sweeping and mopping the bathroom? And Robert's like, well, who else is going to do it?
Yeah.
And so, but she was like, but she's the assembly member, but she's sweeping and mopping. And I was like, it's got to get done, right?
Right. I love that. Yeah.
You got to get it done.
You gotta lead by action.
I that's the thing. I can't tell my kids or my staff or anybody do this if I don't do it myself.
Yeah.
That's
I
right.
can't yell at the kids and be like, sweep and mop, and then they don't. I'm not doing it, right?
Exactly.
And it goes back to the conversation about I'm not above or beneath anything, right? And I'm able, and I always talk about this because now, I'm in the legislature. I've had dinner with the governor a few times. We go to the governor's mansion. And so we have different degrees of kind of status, right? And I grew up in downtown LA, but I've been in Baldwin Park for 35 years. And so there's a whole area I used to teach at. I was a teacher. I taught at Pleasant View Elementary School. That's North Bowling.
Right. Yeah. I was born in Baldwin Park.
Yeah.
So it was Baldwin Park Community Hospital. I was born
wow.
in. And, so I was there, and yeah, north side, east side, yeah.
So, So it's that area, right? So we're campaigning, and this was years ago when Susan was running for the first time as a city clerk. So we're knocking on doors and everything, and then one of the homies comes up. He's like, "Hey, what you doing?" And I was like, well, we're campaigning, and blah 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 blah. And
It's
so,
funny. What you doing?
yeah.
I love it. It's perfect. She did perfect.
Susan goes across the street, so because we're like conquering, right? I do one side of the street, she does the other, and he's like, "Hey, who's that?" I'm like, he's like, "Oh, that's my sister." He's like,
I love it.
Yeah, he was like, "Hey, that's my sister." He's like, "Oh, I really like her." Hey.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm like, yeah. Is she married? I'm like, yeah, she's married. He's all like, "Oh man, that's too bad because I wanted to invite her to a fancy restaurant. I want to take her to Applebee's." And I was just like, I'm sure she would have accepted, but she's married. And I'm like, but I'm able to have a conversation with a homie.
Yeah.
And then later that night, go have dinner with the governor. Most people that were born with a silver spoon in their mouth, when you're up here, it's hard
They
to go
wouldn't
down.
have known how to answer that question, but you did.
How
You
to
just
respond. And
But
how
there
to,
is some Latinas that have made it, in higher status, and they forget where they came from.
yes, and I call it memberitis up there.
And that really aggravates me about some of them, because they think that because you've made it to this level, now everybody else is below your nose. And that's really sad, because your life, it could be going good right now, but tomorrow might not. And who's going to be there for you?
Right,
That's
right.
what I always say.
And
you know?
it's about relationships, and to your point, we go through that obviously a lot in Sacramento. I think this year, I think we're finally at 50%. There's still some races to be called, but to be settled, right? But for the most part, we're getting closer to 50% females. And to your point,
Wow.
we're our own worst enemies. Not just the women, but the Latinas and kind of the ethnicities, because my African American friends have the same kind of issues that we do. I think the problem is that we think that we're fighting for this little piece of pie, not understanding that the pie is this big.
Yeah.
I said that last week. Exactly what you said, because not to cut you out, but I said it last week. We have a pie mentality, and it's so sad because Chicanos, Latinos, Hispanics, whatever we want to call ourselves, whatever you identify as, we hate on each other so much. We are our worst critics. We're our worst competition. I mean, it's so sad because we can. 'Cause I do a lot of stuff in Hollywood, and we always say that we can make a lot of things go blockbuster, but because maybe that person is playing the role of someone who's Mexican, but they're from El Salvador and they're playing the role, we won't support it because how dare they step in that role? It's that's not. But it's like, come on, like it's still Latino, it's still
and it's
Hispanic.
colorism too, right?
Yeah.
It's not just an African American community issue. It's a Latino community.
It's huge in Latino. Crab mentality, pie mentality. It's big.
I'm from Chihuahua, so I'm from the north, and the north. They're lighter and
darker. Yes,
and I'm like, who cares, right? Like, but it's still a lot of that. But the pie is big.
Yeah.
And I make mistakes. We all do, right? But for the most part, if you've heard of the crab mentality too.
The crab mentality.
That. We pull ourselves down because we don't want them to get out. But the thing is, we should be pushing them, and then they can pull us, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know how to resolve that, because I think I'm guilty of some of that stuff too. Especially in a world where really we don't belong.
Well, I don't think you're guilty of it. I try to explain it like this to people, because people say, "Why don't you support me?" I said, "Look, and we talked about it. I support you, but what I'm doing, it doesn't align."
Right.
But personally, I got your back.
Yeah.
I support you. Your music, whatever it might be, I support you. But you have to remember, you're trying to force what I'm doing to like what you're doing.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But then that's when they become, well, you don't support me. Like, no, you have to learn the difference.
Right.
Well,
and then in at the state capitol, there's been so I gotta brag. Senator Rubio is my sister, and we're the only sisters ever in the history of California to serve in the legislature. Which is a big, big, huge deal. But let me just kind of be blunt about it. It's not because we're special. It's just the odds are not in our favor. There's been at least 4,500 male legislators, and I was woman number 153.
Oh, wow.
And Susan was number 163. Wow. And so it's not that we're we are special and badass, but
No, you guys are.
You guys are.
but the odds
It's
were
amazing.
not in our favor, right? Because there's been husbands and wives, fathers and sons, brothers, but there's never been sisters because of the low amount of women that have been in the legislature, right? And then add the fact that we're Latinas, and then, but I don't even do that math because it's too painful to try and figure out how many Latinas, right? I thank all of the Latina legislators and kind of the badasses that opened the doors for us, but we have that mentality, to your point, that, oh, well, I made it, therefore you didn't. And look, you already know, and I'm not trying to be vain or anything, but I'm likable, right? I can, because I was a teacher. I know how to relate to kids.
Yes.
And so somebody opens the door, man, in 10 seconds they're mine, right? They'll vote for me because I can relate. I speak Spanish. I'm, kind of one of them, right? And so we go to Sacramento, and I got to tell you though, it's like high school. It's a popularity contest. Everything in politics is a popularity contest. Let's just be real about that. It's about who you like more, right? But you go up there, and I have a way of bringing people in. There's always, if I'm standing in a room, there's people around me all the time because I talk to people, I'm approachable.
You have that inviting spirit.
Yeah, she does.
And then, but up there, it's a bad thing because the other girl thought she was the popular one, right? And I'm not competing.
My God, yeah.
But I'm not competing, except she's competing with me, right? And once upon a time, I try to meet with people, have lunch, dinner, because it's all about relationships.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
100%.
Math, relationships, and I'll tell you the next one later, because that one's, she's going to get mad. Not mad,
She
but
said we have like 10 more minutes. We have 10 more minutes with you.
see, I told you that
already-
you were not going to have enough
Yeah,
time.
she's doing the fingers.
Yeah, so I asked this girl, like, hey, let's have dinner, right? And, to the point we're trying to make, the Latinas were not so happy that I was getting all this attention. And I was like, well, I'm not asking for it, but okay, whatever. And so we were going to go out to dinner, and the girl calls me, and she's like, another legislator, she's like, hey, I have to cancel today because, there's something else. I'm like, cool, no worries. Went down the list. I'm like, hey, I'm open tonight. You want to go have dinner? And I was like, yeah. And so I picked somebody else, and we went to dinner. Then I see her with the other girl across the room.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, hey, how are you? I mean, because I don't care. Like,
She's like me, because I'll do that. I'll be like, oh, hey. And they're like, oh. And I'm like, I love putting them in the spot like that.
Because it's like,
Right,
dude, go do whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not your boss. If you want to go have dinner, go have dinner. But what happened, she told me, she's like, when she found out that she was having dinner with me, she's like, no, you're having dinner with me.
Oh, wow.
As if it was a competition.
yeah.
And I was like, dude, go have dinner with whoever you want. I'll catch you later. I got plenty of people that we can go. But it turned out to be a popularity contest, right? Because now they're like, and I'm like, dude, like, we have so much work to do that being popular is not the priority right now.
That's
right
an
now.
automatic already.
And so anyway, so it's back to the I never answered your original question. I'm gonna have to come back, but that kind of started me in politics. The undocumented status, the deportation. I went to LAUSD. I think we've told the story before. I told you that the senator's a twin. She's a fraternal twin, my brother. When we came from Mexico the second time, we were placed. I think they skipped second grade for me or whatever it was, because I remember I was like, I don't think I ever went to second grade, because they put me in third grade. And so what they did back in those days is they assess you, but the law had not changed yet. So now you can't assess or test a kid in not their native language. Back then it didn't matter. So my brother bombed the test, so they labeled him, and it's not a good word now, but at the time they labeled him retarded.
Oh, gosh.
And put him in a special ed school.
Oh, wow.
By the time they figured out that he wasn't, that it was only a language barrier, his self-esteem was in the gutter, all
That's
of these
horrible.
issues. Yeah, it is. It's terrible. And so I'm the oldest, and then Senator Susan and Robert are twins, and they're only 14 months younger than I am, and then Sylvia's 4 years younger, and I told you about the change of life baby, my brother. I'm 22 years older than my brother. But what happened is, here's this kid who's 5 or 6 years old, sees his two sisters, older sisters, or sisters, just advancing, and he's stuck in this class, and so he's just totally self-esteem, it was bad. It was bad. And again, by the time they caught that it was a language issue, they had already ruined his morale, his self-esteem, all of it. And so he's okay, but he dropped out of high school in the 9th grade, moved to Kansas, and he has a government job, and he'll be fine. But here I am, and his twin sister's a senator. I'm an assembly member. I mean, how does that feel for him?
Right.
He didn't have the same opportunities that we did, but because they screwed him up. And my parents were working. My dad worked the graveyard shift. My mom during the day, so that we didn't have daycare. We lived in a studio apartment, 6 of us.
Wow.
So the parents were not like, oh, let me go advocate for my son. Like, they were just trying to put food on the table, right?
And that was their agenda.
So that story has a lot to do with what Susan and I do. What I do, I became a teacher, and I taught him in Baldwin Park 3 years at Pleasant View Elementary School, and then I taught in Fontana for the rest of my tenure. I'm on a leave of absence right now, and I always joke that I keep my credential open, and I have a leave of absence from teaching in case this gig doesn't work out. I can always go back to teaching, and so that also gives me freedom, right? Because I'm like, I love what I do, but if I don't have it, I'm cool. Like, I can go back to teaching.
Is that what's going to happen?
No.
So what next after this? Then?
I know, because you have
4 more years.
Yeah, I know you. Believe me, I know you're going to stay 4 more years. But what happens after? Like, what happens? I mean, you can't. I really want to learn. Like, do you move up? Does it?
I don't know.
What happens?
So I told you that I started on the water board and then the school board, and I truly believe, and whoever you believe in, I believe in God, that God knew where I was supposed to be, and I won my very first election by 18 votes. So I was like, since then, I was like, whatever I run for, I'm going to win, because I knew that this was, God didn't tell me. It was just kind of, after a while, I was like, this is interesting. So now that I'm a little bit older, more vintage, then
I love that.
I can look back and go, oh, wow, my path here was not an accident.
No.
And so when I was on the water board, I became a teacher, and then I was fighting for something at the school district, and I was like, well, I'm running for the school board. So that was another door, and it was an issue, right?
Yeah.
And when I ran for assembly, there was an open seat, and I was like, well, I'm the most qualified person. And they're like, no, you're not. And I'm like, yes, I am. So I ran for assembly, and I told you I was going to win. So before we go, I know, you guys are doing the time thing, but I have conversations with people all the time, young kids, old kids, everybody in between. And what I say is that God, or whoever you believe in, opens doors for you.
That's right.
We have 3 jobs. First, you have to realize that there's a door open, because sometimes they're like, I don't want to know, I don't want, you see these doors, and you're like, no, I don't want to see it. So you got to recognize that the door is open. That's number 1. Number 2, you have to be brave enough to walk through that door, because that's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. Hard. But the third and most important thing is you have to be prepared, because you can see the door that's open, you can be brave enough, but if you're not prepared, it doesn't matter. So I have these conversations with kids and adults. It's like, if you don't need a high school diploma, get it anyway. If you don't need an AA, get it anyway. If you don't need because guess what? Some amazing opportunity is going to come. And I talked about this, because it's not just about college, right? We have very talented people that are in very skilled jobs. Even if you don't need that extra class, do it anyway, because some opportunity is going to come by, and they're going to need that class that you took. And everything else being equal, if you have that over somebody else, you're going to get that job,
get the position.
or you're going to get whatever it is.
I like it.
And it's, and I think for me, it was, God opens the doors, and I saw them, and I was like, man, it's hard, but I'm going to do it. And then I did it, and, I was prepared at that time, and then the second time I was more prepared, and then the third time I was more prepared. But I try to teach that to my own children. I'm like, my son, I'm this amazing assemblywoman, right? And I was in a very important meeting earlier, and I'm like fighting with Aiden because his Spanish went from a B to a D, and I'm like, dude, if you do not get this up, and I'm like in this meeting, and I'm like smiling, and I was like, you better get this up by Friday, or I'm gonna kick your butt, and blah 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 blah. And he's like, but mom, but I turned it in. I'm like, the update was a minute ago. Don't tell me you turned it in, you know. So
love it,
that
man.
keeps me grounded to the reality, right? But I tell my son, I'm like, dude, I don't care. C's get degrees. Just get a C.
C's
Yeah.
get degrees. I
Because
like that.
because
C's get
yeah,
degrees.
because at the end of the day, you're a
we
mom
use that.
first, right? You're a mom first, and so our kids have to take, have to be our priority. But I admire you because ever since I've been around you, I've seen your campaigns, I've seen the things that you stand for. Some have made me laugh, actually, and I'll tell you the one that made me laugh the most. But
The one with my doggy?
No, the one with the actually I'll say it now. The one with the crocodile boots.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that one. That one was. I was like, wow. I think I told him about that one, and he's like, what? And I said, yeah, there's a process that goes with all that, but I've always admired your strength, because it does take a very strong individual, a strong woman to do what you do, to do what our senator does, to do what our congresswoman did for so many years. I mean, I look up to Congresswoman Grace Napolitano because she was a great mentor. And so people that are fighters, whether I believe in some of the things that they stand for or not, I still respect the woman that did it and took that leap of faith to get to where she's at.
And it's hard.
It is very hard.
It's hard on us. It's hard on the family. When I was elected in 2016, I was a single mom. And I took my kids to Sacramento because I wasn't going to leave them with my parents. So they're in school in Sacramento. And it's fine during the legislative year because it's like from January to August, sometimes to the middle of September. And it's fine because I'm in Sacramento 4 days a week. Our schedule is this: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're in Sacramento. We fly home on Tuesday night or Thursday night or whatever time. And then most members go back on Monday morning, but because my kids are in school over there, we would go back on Sunday night. For a long time, the kids would come and fly back and forth with me, right? And now they're like, Mom, we have lives, so and so has a party or whatever. So they're a senior and junior in high school. When we got there, they were 3rd and 4th grade. But right now, it's the hardest time for us because once the session is done, then we're all in our districts. Right. Well, the kids are in school over there.
Right.
And so to your point, right? And that's why I'm yelling at my son on the phone, not in person, because he's over there and I'm here. We've made it work, but I'm a mom first, but it's difficult right now. So if I was gone, I literally hadn't seen them in 3 weeks because I was down here doing work down here and everything. And one day I was just like, I just need to go see them. I mean, I don't care if they're 17 and 16. Like those are my babies, right?
Yeah.
So I went back for 2 days, and then I had an event here, so I flew in on the 6:25 a.m. flight, and then had to go back to Sacramento that evening. So flew in at 6:25 and flew back to Sacramento at 2:25 p.m. because I need to see my kids.
Wow, the energy, right?
And I have to, right? But I signed up for this. This is the most amazing opportunity for me to do, whatever it is. We'll keep talking about the next 4 years. I'll come back.
No, you're coming back.
Yes,
we have so much.
Absolutely. I told you that you were not going to get enough. But for me to be able to do this and be a role model for my own children, yes, a role model for everybody else, and I appreciate it. But I'm a mom first, and when my kids see what I do, and they're like, yeah, that's my mom. Like what?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Then they're like, wow. And, for a long time, their friends didn't really know what I did, but they knew that I flew, back and forth. And this election in November, we had, there's a couple things that people do when you run elections. You walk and knock on doors and get some support there, or you make calls. Phone banking is what it's called, right? So my kids have been doing this since they were 6 and 7. So this time around, I'm like, hey guys, we have a little bit of money. You want to have your friends do this, and we'll pay them. So they're like, what? So I had 19 kids.
Oh, wow.
In Sacramento. 19 kids in Sacramento making phone calls.
That's cool, though.
And I
like
them,
that.
Great training.
And they don't understand how we changed their life. Because if you can make cold calls, man, you can do
yeah.
You're a good
yeah.
salesman. Oh, heck yeah.
But they don't know yet.
Yeah.
They don't understand what I mean. But they will later.
They just walk away like, oh, man, I got money. And like,
Yeah.
no, you invested in them.
Yes.
They don't understand that.
Yes, I invested in them, and then just kind of the growing that they did, because one of them says, I'm afraid, and then they did it for them, and they're like, I finally realized that they don't know who I am. you know, and so that made them comfortable.
Right, yeah.
And so I had a party for them on Saturday, 19 kids that came. We did the taco party, the taco guy came and everything, and for the first time, all their parents were there, and I said, oh, you know, thank you, and I give props to my kids because I was like, you know, they have to go through a lot. I'm gone a lot, but they're rock stars, man. They know. They're like, we're good, Mom. We'll take care of it. My daughter, life-changing, by the way. She just started driving. My son does it. He's the older one. He doesn't want to drive, but my daughter is driving. I'm like, life-changing, because now she can, you know, move around, and I don't have to be there, you know, to take her. But anyway, so all of these kids were, and then I paid them in checks, and they're like, what is this? I'm like, it's called a check. You sign it on the back and you have your parents deposit it into the bank, right? So another
I love
life
it.
lesson, right?
Yeah.
So they were getting paid once a week, and the kids were like, on Instagram, first job, first paycheck, you know.
That's so cute.
So we were able to build this community. But when we had the taco guy, you know, the taco party, like all the parents were there, and so I had, you know, Zoom with the people that we were helping, and the parents were like, "You do what?" You know, we knew there was something in politics, and when the kids started coming over, they said, "Oh, we didn't know." And then when we, you know, of course, I had to talk to them. I'm a politician, right? So I'm like addressing all the parents and the kids, and I'm like, you know, I want to thank you for all the work that you did, and this and that and the other. And the parents were like, how have you been here for 8 years and we had no idea that this is what you did? I'm like, because my life with my kids is my life with my kids.
Yeah.
My life in politics is what I
It's
do.
different, yeah.
And they were like, oh my God. And they started learning about me because they were making phone calls on my behalf. They were reading my bio, and they're like, crying. They're like, we didn't know that you did this.
So
And
none of them went back and said, vote for Assemblywoman Blanca Rubio to their parents?
Right. Well, no, but they're in Sacramento.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
They don't get
Sacramento.
to vote
Yeah.
for us, right? They don't get to vote for me. But they were so excited that now they're involved in the civic engagement, and they made a little money, and my kids were like, yeah, that's my mom, and they're so proud, right? So at the end of the day, you know, whatever comes next, and I'll come back, but whatever comes next.
You see her, huh? You can feel her, huh?
Yes, I know. I got you. But whatever comes next, I think my biggest pride is going to be that my children spent 12 years in Sacramento, and true story, my son can talk to the governor and not care. So when Governor Newsom was elected in 2018, we had helped Lieutenant Governor Eleni Konolakis. She's amazing, by the way. Eleni, shout out. I love her. So my kids knew her, and we were helping her. And so when they all get elected, we get sworn in. Swearing in is on December 2nd. So they go to the front with the dais, right? And the governor addresses the whole body, and he was thanking everybody, blah, blah, blah. And my son runs up. He was 10.
It was such a cool experience.
Oh my God, can you imagine?
God, man.
So my son, so it was 2018, so what is it, 6 years ago? So my son was at 10 or 11, and so he runs up to the dais and hugs the lieutenant governor. And Madam Lieutenant Governor, welcome to the family, right? And so he had his phone, and the governor's there, and he's like, excuse me, sir. I was like, oh, what is he doing? He's like, excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. Grabs his phone. He's like, can you do me a favor and take a picture of me and the lieutenant governor? And he's looking at the phone. He's like, okay. So wow. He takes a picture of them, and then he hands the phone over to the lieutenant governor. He's like, excuse, do you mind taking a picture of me and that guy?
Oh my God.
I have the two pictures, but it's very, it's funny, right? But you know how amazing that is, that my son didn't care that was the leader of the 5th largest economy in the world.
Oh my gosh.
He didn't care. He's like, dude, you're just standing there.
Yeah, get a picture.
Make yourself useful. You know? I mean, that's really...
Yeah.
But for him to have that confidence...
No, that's amazing.
To be like... Because I told you I was embarrassed to call 411. And this kid's like, excuse me, sir. Can you take a picture of me and the lieutenant governor? I'm like, who is this
I love
kid?
it. I love it.
And when he's running down, the governor tells the lieutenant governor, who the hell's that kid? And Eleni's like, that's Blanca Rubio's son. He's like, I get it. But that's, to me, that's the biggest sense of pride. Yes, I can talk about the legislation and how amazing I am and all of that, but for my son to be comfortable enough to be like, you're just some guy. I respect who you are, but we're equals,
Yeah.
right? I'm not beneath you. We started with that conversation about we're not above or beneath anybody. We're all human. My husband likes to say we all put the pants on one leg at a time.
That's right.
You know, we all kind of had this life, and we just happen to have different titles and
Exactly.
different experiences. But for me, for my kids to be that comfortable to be like, and I told you I struggle with my son because we fight over the homework and everything, but he's going to rule some world. Like
He's gonna rule somewhere.
At the end of the day,
you know, he's going to be fine. But in the meantime, I still have to, like, you know, be on him because, dude, like, come on. I'm a teacher.
Yeah,
Come
yeah, you know
on.
it takes place.
Yeah.
On
and-
top of all that, yeah.
But no, thank you so much for coming on because I know
Yes.
Wendy's giving me the side look right now, and I don't want to get in trouble. And we try to have you back, and she denies us.
Yes.
So we're gonna have to listen and be nice. No,
But I love this. I love
No.
this. You know, I think it's important for me to be here. For those of you that just know the picture, I did a cool picture. I put my little Yorkie on the corner of my mailer this time. You know, just to show you that I'm human, right?
no, this is amazing. Just you being transparent like this is amazing because we talk about it. People put you on a pedestal, like you're not supposed to make any type of mistake, and if you make a mistake, oh my God, it's like like
They
it's
use it
bright.
against you.
Use it against you and everything. But you have showed today that you are not just an assembly woman, but you are a mom, you're a wife, you know,
A daughter.
a daughter, a daughter,
An amazing daughter, the oldest daughter.
the oldest
yeah,
daughter.
Same story,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
different title.
Grew up, not spoon fed, but you grew up, like a majority of a lot of Latinos, Hispanics in California, and it's amazing. And my biggest thing is that we're gonna get going, but my biggest thing is that you have the alligator skin to take the jabs, because I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
No way
But
could I
make
do
no
that.
mistake about it. I am not a wallflower. If you mess with me, and I hope you got that sense from me that I'm cool, but if you mess with me, I don't play.
Woo!
Because I grew up in downtown
That's
LA,
right.
and that says something. So I'm the kindest person. I will give you the clothes off my back. But if you mess with me, we're gonna have issues because
That's right.
I'm also the older sister.
Ooh.
And I had to
Yeah.
take care of my siblings the whole entire time growing up where I grew up in, and it's a good balance, right? Because I can have that thick skin to be able to take it, but I can give it, and so they love me up there, but there's a little bit of sense of fear. Because they're like, I don't know if we're gonna really mess with her too much, and that's a good place to
Yes,
be because then I can be authentic and be that's the word of the of the year, right? Authentic. I can be myself, but still be like, I'm nice, but there's something behind me that if you mess around.
And you're entitled to that. You're entitled to that because you work so hard to be where you are. That all the nonsense that's out there. That's whether it's social media or whatever it is. It's sometimes it's unfair.
Yeah.
But you're ready.
Yeah.
But you're ready, and we have to be ready. So you know what? So hey guys,
I know.
this has been a great conversation.
Yes, it was amazing.
I'm very proud as a woman that you represent this district and the many people and the many groups and all the things that you are doing. And I thank you so much for all the support that you have given
Yes.
us through the Greater West Covina, and now sitting here with us, and Let's Connect Now, our show. I'm very.
I'm getting to know
proud.
you, but it's like you
Yes.
have the last 4 years. Damn it.
Yeah. I can only tell him so much about you because I really wanted him to really get to know you, and I think he fell in love with you when we had our legislative breakfast with
I did.
you.
I go, I like
and
her.
you were talking about your children, and you were just very passionate. And he was like, I didn't know she was like that, because in his eyes, the politicians that we've dealt with, they're very like, even the local ones, and you're just like, to me, Monica,
I'm casual.
to me, because I've been in this community for a long time, to me, they're just people. But to him, it was like, oh my gosh, but you were like, it was just amazing, how he came back and he was like, I didn't know she was like that. I didn't know she was like that. And so now he's going to be talking about it even more because
any videos, I'll do them for you. I got you.
Okay, but
how
before we
amazing
go,
you are.
I need to do a plug.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving is coming up.
Oh, yes, you have a big event coming
every
up.
year. I do a Thanksgiving giveaway of 3,000 turkeys.
Yes.
I do 1,500 actual turkeys, and the rest are vouchers because not everybody has an oven.
Yeah.
That's correct.
I'll make you gasp for a minute. A couple years ago, we were doing the turkey giveaway, and I partner up with the food bank, and we do, the trimmings and the canned goods and the potatoes and the rice and all of that, right? And so it's the end of the day, and we had extra stuff. And this one woman comes up, and I'm like, hey, here, take it. Take the whole thing, like we're done, you know. And she's like, no, thank you. It's all canned goods. And she's like, no, thank you. I'm like, why not? Here, take it. I'm thinking I'm doing this amazing thing. She's like, no, take it. She's like, no, I'm good. I'm like, why? She's like, I don't have a can opener.
Oh.
Wow.
So I felt like an ass. But
No, you didn't know.
no, yes, we don't know. But the reason that I tell you that is because we don't know what people's situations are.
Yeah.
We don't know what they need, what they have, what they don't have. We all assume that we all have can openers, right? And, you know, kind of the point that I was trying to make earlier is not all of us, you know, want a handout, but when you need something and somebody's there to give it to you, then that's the best feeling in the world. But remember that not everybody has a can opener, and we all assume that they do. And so that was very eye-opening for me. But I wanted to tell you that because the turkey giveaway is on November 24th at Charter Oak High School. And I'm prepared to do 3,000 turkeys again, and I'll have some can openers available. You know, because
Hey, she sparked something.
she did,
Yeah.
and but also be kind to
kind,
people.
yes.
You don't know what their circumstances are. You don't know what their situation is. You know, my son, I make sure that the kids volunteer all the time, and my son was like, Mom, that guy's car was really, really dirty. He had a whole bunch of clothes in there, and I'm like, Aiden, why do you think? And he's like, he lives in his car. I'm like, yes, son.
yeah.
And so he learned that situations, people,
They don't know, yeah.
they don't know what the situation is. And I
Yeah.
said, look, son, our job is to give.
Yes.
As long as we give, you know, just be kind. Somebody wanted to do an interview. I'm like, I'm not doing an interview. They're embarrassed to be here because they're in a food line.
Yeah.
You know, and some of them do, like, you know, because I do a lot of work with the churches, and they come and they're always like thanking me, you know, you helped me feed, you know, 50 people today, whatever it is, right? But be kind. You don't know what situation people are in. Think of the can opener. If you, what would you do without a can opener?
That's true.
You know,
Yeah.
and you know, some folks don't have homes. Some folks don't have ovens. So what we do is we do 1,500 actual turkeys and then the gift cards, because to respect whatever their situation is, that they can go buy, you know, already made food, you know,
Yeah.
somewhere,
Yeah.
right?
'cause
But
they don't
anyway,
have-
so the turkey giveaway is November 24th
Okay.
at Charter Oaks High School. We start at 8 a.m., 9 a.m.
9 a.m.?
But by then, there's literally
Yeah, a line.
A huge
Yeah.
line, yeah.
Okay.
We did a big mail outreach, but if you can help pass the word, people.
No, we'll
need
definitely
us.
we'll pass the
Of
word.
course.
Okay.
People need us right now,
Of
and
course.
you know we're going to be there at least for Thanksgiving. I figured 3,000 giveaways times 4 family members. That's 12,000 people that we're helping this year.
wow, that's amazing.
And we have volunteers, and
Yeah.
you know, just people come out to help us, because it's really a good feeling to be able to give back to my community. And you know I'm not perfect, but at the end of the day, my husband says that all the time. What I do it from my heart,
Oh, yeah.
because we were there once, and we want to help people. We want to make sure they have at least for Thanksgiving. You know, we should do more, but at minimum, let's make sure that they have a good Thanksgiving meal, and come out, the community, come out and visit. If you know the neighbor that can't drive, you know, the elderly, the veterans, you know, let us know so that we can go and deliver, you know, whatever it is that they
Amazing.
Well, that's
need.
pretty
Because
awesome.
Yeah, that's nice.
it's hard, you know.
Yeah,
and
it
people are
is.
like, oh my God, how amazing, you're doing 3,000 turkeys. And I'm like, no, 3,000 people need, you know, 3,000 families still need help.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's a good thing, but it's bad because we still have
Yeah, we
that
need
much
help.
need.
Yeah, exactly.
And so anyway, so pass the word.
We will, for sure.
November 24th, it's a Sunday morning at Charter Oak High School. You know, if you have neighbors that need help, just let us know, and we'll do whatever we can. We partner up with the tow truck company, Athens, the
they're
trash
wonderful,
company.
yeah.
I think Power 106 is going to be there this
Okay.
year, because we have a relationship with
Letty?
no, more of the corporate people.
Oh, corporate, okay.
Elizabeth Martinez. But Elizabeth is kind of our friend, but she works for them.
Okay.
And so they're going to come out. You know, we're going to be giving food to the community, and the volunteers will get, you know, taco. We're going to do a taco guide for the volunteers. We've got water. We're going to have music, you know, trying to make it as festive as possible, and as seamless for whoever needs help, that they come in, you go out, and we're cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, but thank
Well, that's
you.
amazing, man. That's a power packed
pretty
day.
awesome.
I
That's
love
pretty
it.
awesome.
Well, thank you so
much for
Thank
doing this
you.
for our community. We really appreciate you, and we wish you nothing but the best for the next,
Yes.
for the next
Oh, I'm coming back.
4 years.
yes,
oh
you
yeah,
are.
no, you're gonna be back.
Anybody
and we're
watching
gonna-
this right now, please
yes.
fill up her emails, her DMs that she needs to come back and finish her story.
Yes,
So-
yes,
I
yes, yes,
told you,
yes.
look, I can talk. I got a big old story. I think the experience.
I think we only
No,
got the
and-
first part. We got the first.
Yeah,
now we
I
got
I
to
don't
get the
think I ever
present.
answered your question.
No, but we're gonna get there.
But we'll
That's
get
Part
okay.
two. We'll do
But
part
part two, but part one just gives you an idea of kind of the circumstances that I was in, my family was in, and to those of you that are watching, to the students and the kids and the families, nothing's impossible. 'Cause
Nothing.
If
That's
I
right.
can, if I can do it, and I was undocumented and didn't speak the language, my God, what can you do that you are blessed enough to be in an amazing country and an amazing state that
right.
can support you? Just go to school. Education is the key, and it doesn't have to be college. Just go to school, get education. If you don't need to get it anyway, because if that opportunity, comes by, you're always going to be prepared to maybe be the next assembly member.
Ooh, I
Awesome.
love it.
Well, thank you. We love you and we appreciate you very much. And we especially too appreciate our viewers. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. All the information that we share will be in the description. In the description. So make sure you guys tune in, like, comment, and make sure you guys follow our Assemblywoman, Blanca Rubio.
All right. See you guys.
Thank you.